Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of our old farmhouse. About 2 weeks ago, I published a video here on YouTube on how to grow fruit trees. And while the video did okay, I did get a lot of questions about what to do if your fruit tree starts to bloom before your last frost date. Now, when I recorded that video, it was the beginning of April. Now we are in the last week of April and well before my last frost date here in Michigan. I have approximately 5, if not 6 weeks until that time. And as you can see behind me, I have a fruit tree that is blossoming. In fact, all of my fruit trees except for one have turned to blossom, this one being the most prevalent here behind me. And what should I do in that scenario? Now, I love when my viewers ask questions because I will make content based on those questions if I know the answer. And unfortunately, when it comes to growing fruit trees, there's not a ton that you can do. Now, most of the time when you're just planting a fruit tree for the first year, it's small enough where you could still cover it with some burlap or some kind of plastic to keep the frost off from it and to protect those blossoms. But at the same time, that is very labor intensive, especially if your fruit trees are in the back of your property or if you have a lot of fruit trees. You have to cover them each evening, and then you have to uncover them in the morning to make sure that they have the ability to continue to grow. Also, with plastic sheathing that I've seen people cover fruit trees with in the past, those can heat up during the day, too intense for the actual blossoms, and really reduce any chance of them actually producing any fruit. In addition to that, if you keep them covered for too long, that's going to prevent bees and other pollinating insects from getting in and actually pollinating the flowers. Without that pollination process, you are not going to get any fruit. Now, as I said, it's the last week or just starting the last week of April 2025, and already the bees are out. They're buzzing around all of these peach trees and one of our apple trees in the back of our property, and that is a great sign that we're probably going to have some peaches and apples this year. Definitely apples. In fact, I've never had an apple tree that hasn't been successful. Back here in our peach trees, they are a little bit more finicky. In our cherry trees, we've never actually gotten any cherries from them. But I can tell you that any type of strong frost that's going to come through here is likely going to damage those blossoms, which in turn is going to damage the actual fruit. So with that said, when you have trees that are getting a little bit larger, the plastic sheathing is going to be the best, and you're just going to want to cover it on those nights where you know it's going to dip below freezing. Every single day at about 6 p.m. I check the weather app on my phone to make sure that the night is going to stay above that 32-degree mark. In fact, I prefer to stay about 35 degrees or above. If I see it's going to dip below 35 degrees, I will come out and I will cover those. Now for me, I just use a light clear garbage bag. You can find these most of the time at Dollar General is where we get ours, or any type of dollar store, and you just want to cover the top of the tree. You don't have to worry about the trunk of the tree or any branches that don't have blossoms on it. In fact, the bags aren't quite large enough now that these trees have gotten larger, which means that I don't usually get to cover 100% of them. Now yes, it is a pain in the butt, but typically speaking, it's only a couple of weeks that you have to do it for. I also know that I don't have the opportunity to cover all of my trees. In fact, I never cover the apple tree, and they still grow just fine. For the most part, the key indicators to your success is going to be that it doesn't continue to frost every single night, or that you don't have a major freeze during that blossoming time, and that bees or other pollinating insects still have access to your trees. So with that said, guys, I hope that answers your question. I wanted to answer it as quickly as possible, and I hope it encourages you guys to actually get out and grow some fruit trees. Early spring is the best time to do that. It's the best time for that root system to establish, and like I've said in the past, a lot of times if you pick a really high quality tree, regardless of what it is, you are likely to get fruit on it that first year. Just make sure that you're picking one for your zone. With that said, if you guys have any other questions, comments, or concerns, please leave it in the comment section below, and I'd be happy to answer them. Other than that, guys, I appreciate you for checking out the video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thank you.